Hey everybody, Clay Archer, CEO DPC Technology, and I've got an interesting one today. Today we're going to cover the U5G backup. Now, as you may know, I typically don't cover these little odds and ends that Ubiquiti puts out, but this one really piqued my curiosity. See, lately I've been working from home more, and I live in a high-rise condo, and I only can get Comcast internet. And as you may know, Comcast internet is kind of flaky. Some days it goes in and out, and I will be on Teams calls or doing my work, and my internet will go down. And it's very inconvenient for me. Now, it's not so inconvenient that I will spend a lot of money to fix this issue. Typically, it goes down, it comes back, I can deal with it. But Ubiquiti has completely fixed this issue. And that's why I'm covering this. If you work from home or need a secondary internet at an affordable price, this may be the right thing for you. And TLDR, for $99 and $20 a month, this completely fixed my issue. But let's jump into it real quick. We'll get it unboxed. I'll show you how it works, how it fails over, how easy it is to set up, and we'll run it through some real world examples. First off, it's got the typical nice Unifi packaging you'll all know and love. But the first really nice feature of this device for me is how pretty it looks. For me, anything that goes in my house and can be physically seen has to meet my wife's aesthetic, and this is a very, very attractive piece of equipment. So I'm using the stand. As I said before, I'm in a condo and there's only certain places I can put it, and actually the place I got best reception is out in the living room right next to the main TV. So it fits in perfectly there. It's a beautiful device. It's really cool the way the device is magnetized and just clips to the stand or to the wall. Now, also included in the box is the little mounting template and the little eject tool to get to the SIM card. So onto the SIM card in the $20 a month part of this plan. I use Google Fi for my cellular service. I was able to log into my account. I did need to upgrade to get a data-only SIM. I was paying like $45 a month for my plan before. I went up to the $65 a month plan, which also gives me international roaming and unlimited data. I was able to get that e-card and they sent it right out to me. It came several days later. All I had to do was register that SIM card, put it in the bottom of the U5G backup, and get it all installed. I put it in the PoE port on the back of my UCG fiber right there in my living room, but I also tested it on several other PoE switches throughout my condo. And that brings up a good point. You can put it anywhere on your network, and as long as it gets PoE, it will find it and adopt it. The adoption process was super easy. In fact, it was so easy I forgot to film it, but obviously it just pops up in your software, clicks adopt, and it did a firmware update and it was good to go. The other cool part of this, and why I'm so happy to recommend it, is that it just automatically worked. Its default auto configuration just set it up as a failover, and I really didn't have to do anything. But let's jump into the software real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. It just automatically came in here in my dashboard as a secondary internet device. And so you can just click on it here. You can see that's TWUSA. That's what Google Fi uses. And it's getting a good quality signal there. It's showing in my monthly usage. I've been playing with it for a little while. I've used a ½ gigabyte and it's showing my throughput. And I'll go in here and I'll click a speed test. Now, while that's running, you can see here I'm getting 12, 13 megabits down and 28 megabits up. So you'll go, those speeds aren't incredible. And this does use a little bit different technology than the $399 5G Max. This is using what they call 5G RedCap, and I'll read a little blurb here from Unifi. 5G RedCap, reduced capacity, is a modern cellular standard designed to bridge the gap between legacy 4G LTE and high-performance 5G. While standard 5G focuses on extreme gigabit speeds, RedCap prioritizes the core strengths of the 5G network, superior reliability and lower latency. By using a more streamlined hardware architecture, it serves as the ideal successor to LTE for applications like network backup, where maintaining a consistent, always-on connection is more critical than reaching absolute peak throughput. And then it goes on to ask, what's the difference between the U5G backup and the U5G Max? And then it answers core technology. The Unifi 5G backup utilizes 5G RedCap for an efficient, streamlined connection, while the Unifi 5G Max uses full 5G for maximum performance. So let's jump into the software and we'll do a simulated failover and I'll show you why this works for me. So I'm going to go into my USB strip right now and I will go in here and I'm going to click on Comcast and I am going to power cycle Comcast. And that should kill my Comcast. And it did. So you can see here now I only have the one internet and that is the T-Mobile. And so I'm fully running on my T-Mobile right now. So I'm going to use Google Maps to kind of simulate what I would typically be doing during the day. And you can see I am scrolling now through Google Maps. And this is a typical kind of throughput you would see on a line of business software. I'm going to go into Breckenridge here and we'll just go down to the town. And you can see this is using my internet just kind of as you would use your internet. You can see there's a little bit more latency when I go to a new page than there would be for my internet connection, but it's pretty doggone quick. And for me, most of the time during the day, when my internet goes out, it just goes out for a few seconds. I'll be on a Zoom call and it will go down, and then 30 seconds later it'll come back up and I'll be fine. Very much like this cycle. Typically when it comes back on for me, if I'm on a Zoom call, it will put me on hold for maybe a second or two. So I'll get that boom, boom, and it'll come back. So when it fails over the first time, the switch over is almost immediate. When it comes back, it takes a second. Sometimes when it does it, it will say right here, lost internet in my dashboard. You can see that the internet's coming up. It sees it now, but it's not on. Any second now, it will fail back over to it. Sometimes I'm on a call and it won't put me on hold for that little 2-second flip over. Sometimes it does, and it flipped me over. There was no drop that time. So really, pretty doggone seamless. Like I said, if you're on a Zoom call or a Teams call, it might give you that little quick hold where it stutters for a second, but completely acceptable and much better than being dropped off a call for 5 minutes while Comcast does whatever Comcast does. Also, we're here in the interface. I'll show you can go to each individual WAN and you can look at its performance. You can look at the latency. I've been moving things around a little bit. You can see here I've been playing a bit today doing some testing. I put this in a few different rooms and tried to get this dialed in as best it could. Another reason that I typically don't do this type of videos is because this is very location dependent. If you do not get good 5G signal on your phone, you probably won't get good 5G signal on this, and you may need to revert to using putting on a window or getting it somewhere in the building. That is a big advantage of the 5G Max and the 5G Max Outdoors is you have more versatile mounting options, especially the 5G Outdoors. If this was a mission critical area, putting it outdoors would be a nice feature to have. For me, this worked out perfectly in my location. Again, I am in a 10-story high rise, so 5G really works well up here because I don't have a lot of obstructions between me in the cell towers, but your experience may vary. Obviously take a look at what you're getting on your cell phone, and that's going to be a pretty good barometer of what you're going to get on the device itself. Let's go back to devices. I'll go into the backup here real quick and show you what you get. First of all, it'll show you device in your SIM situation. It also does do eSIMs. I have a physical SIM here. It'll show you your connectivity there. I'm sure that'll be blurred out, and all your basic device statistics and which port it's plugged into. And under settings here, you can set some different options. You can set it for roaming. You can also put a data limit. I am on an unlimited plan, but if I wasn't on an unlimited plan, I could put monthly quotas here. I could reset my usage and do some custom stuff there. I can also set up a device supervisor to make sure it's always on and reset power on that port if it ever goes astray. I can also go to settings and go to internet and check out its settings under internet. Again, some of this will probably be blurred out, but I get options to change its name, set accepted up and down speeds, and do a bunch of advanced and manual settings here if I wanted to. If you do need to come in here and set manual settings and turn it off of auto, you could, and it gives you the ability to do all that stuff. I'm sure there are more things that I could geek out and get into with it, like routing policies and setting all that SLA stuff up. But honestly, the beauty of this device is that I just plugged it in and it worked. And like I said before, I've wanted a secondary internet, but the barrier to entry to me is I didn't want to spend a lot per month on it, and I didn't want to spend a lot up front, and it needed to look nice in my home. I've been using this device for a while, and I've had a lot of up and downs with Comcast as per usual, and this device has been rock solid for me. I know the 5G RedCap may not sound super sexy, but if you're like me and you just need a rock solid secondary internet connection, it has really been a nice addition to my network, and I highly recommended you getting one. As always, I'll put an affiliate link down below. Don't feel like you need to use that. But also, if you have any questions or comments, please put those down below. I try to answer all those. And as always, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.